Alright, a wonderful good day everybody and welcome back here to my channel, God's Shadow, with Grixis control, and I've done a little bit of a restructuring. No, of course the main framework remained the same, all these cards should be familiar, and then on the 3-drop slot I changed quite a bit. So before I was playing Archmage Charm, which was good, but as the meta changes, so do the requirements for the deck. And right now I wanted to have, on the one hand, more threats, and I wanted to have not 3 or 4 copies of Brazen Borer. Especially because blocking is so darn fucked up with it. And that's a real weakness. The bouncing effect is still fine, but I also wanted to have, because big mana is really back in the meta due to the fact that especially Simic Urza and also the other Oku decks, some playing Bant, Eldrazi, etc., are really mid-rangey. I would say aggressive mid-range, somewhere in between there, and have few ways of interaction with big mana. And therefore Tron is back, Titan Shift's back, Amulet has never been gone, and therefore, yeah, Nimble Obstruction is back on the menu. I also accompanied it with additional Color Guns command because, on the one hand, we were playing Rise/Fall before, just to have more recursion outlets. Now we don't play that anymore, but go with Dread War. Partially forced due to all the Planeswalkers running around. And so I wanted to have more outlets to get Nimble or whatever back. And then there's also Dark Dwellers. So I was playing with Torrential Gearhulk, but 6 mana is just too much. It's so far out of range for the most part that it was never really game changing. It never did what I wanted it to do. I just want to have a top-end creature that provides me with value, with flexibility, and just doesn't die to a lightning bolt, to a fatal push, whatever. And Goblin Dark Dweller checks all those boxes, and therefore we're going to try that out. I haven't tried it yet, but I think that might be working out quite well, because there really isn't, for all the cards that have already been printed in Magic, there's still so much room to explore in terms of new creatures, new card types, new effects, whatever. Also, because once you start brewing and deck building, etc., you just take a deep dive into what Magic cards are available. Then you really see the empty spaces and what has just not been printed yet or might never be printed, whatever. So yeah, then in the mana base here, since we're not playing Archmage Charm anymore, we have a blue mana source free. I put back in Blast Zone because I just wanted to have something against, additionally against Death Shadow decks, because sometimes we're a little bit too clunky here and have problems getting rid of that. So Blast Zone is just an additional out there in the sideboard. 4 Grixis Jailers again, because Gab Nassif was very successful with Grapevine last weekend. He was just crushing everyone. And yeah, Grixis Jailer, probably one of the only ways that we have fighting Grapevine, and then it's accompanied by Surgical and Kalitas. Ceremonious Rejection, a nod to Tron, because the Tron matchup, which before I would say we were winning 60%, when we're still playing 3 Nimbles. But now, especially with Veil of Summer, and partially also still due to Karn, the matchup has just gotten so much worse because we're getting blown out left and right. And you can't really play around it, right? You can't play around, if they're playing a 7 mana spell and have 1 green open, you can't you don't have an option. Like you can't decide on just not countering it and trying to set something else up, because then the Corn or the Wormcoil Engine or whatever he's casting is just gonna kill you. So Veil of Summer is a really big problem. But yeah, I'm not gonna complain. We're just gonna jump into a league here in just a second. Alright, here we are in the Modern League. And as I said before, the active player amount is slightly increasing again over time here in Modern, as people are coming back from Pioneer after trying it out. Yes. Alright, we're gonna keep I'm gonna go with an Inquisition here because we do have Brazen Borrow to bounce something turn 2, like if we're playing against something very aggressive like Burn or a Noble Hierarch or whatever. Alright, Elves of Deep Shadows, Strangleroot Geist, Court of Calling, Wall of Roots. That is, all of this is really weird. So, as I said, we could just bounce the Elf, or we could go after the Strangleroot Geist. The problem is that killing the Strangleroot Geist, I guess this is some sort of devotion, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be playing like just 2 colors or mostly devotional stuff. So I'm inclined to go after the Strangleroot Geist here, especially because currently it doesn't have anything to ramp into. I could also bounce the Elves there. That depends on what we're going to draw here. It's just that Strangleroot Geist is somewhat annoying. Yeah. Probably just killing that. I guess this is going to be a Wall of Roots. Yep. Alright, so one card that we know about. It's not yet the time for Cryptic, but it might be the time for Nimble here, especially because we can fly over it. I'm gonna put it to the bottom, although it would be fitting, but I wanna have access to red rather sooner than later. And if we draw another land source, then we can also just kill the Wall of Roots, or just bounce it and go with the Logic Knot, depending on what we want there. So Court of Calling here with the Wall of Roots is very strong. Indeed, because it can generate 2 mana. Once upon a time. Also, cheers to Andreas, from whom I just bought a Kolgan's Command, and he texted me. So there's Strangleroot, guys. As I said, quite annoying. He's somewhat annoying bitch. Alright, so we're gonna go with the Snapcaster Inquisition here, because I want to go after the Court of Calling there. Yawgmoth, okay. Why did you just type GG? Another Geist. Great. I think we need to block here. And we might bounce the other one if if necessary. So I think we're just going with a Dreadbore here. To be mana efficient. We don't know if he's playing like really big stuff. And now I'm just gonna bounce this. Actually, now I'm taking the 2 damage first. And have a look if they play something else. Our Creeping Torpid can birds. Really weird. Like usually these types of decks you might be like what many other streamers and YouTubers do. So K-Command is not a bad one here. I think I'm just gonna counter the Strangleroot guys first. And then I'm gonna go with a Kolaghan's Command to get back a Snapcaster Mage. Something of that sort. He might also not be attacking with that Yawgmoth. Okay, he's playing the Strangleroot first. Makes sense. So this is 1, 2. So I guess Serum Visions and a Dreadbore. Now we could be going after the Yawgmoth, but I might want to go after the birds instead. Because the 1 damage is not too much. Okay. Let's see what he does here. Don't tell me you have another Strangleroot. Eldritch Evolution. What's the worst thing that can happen here? No clue. Yawgmoth. Yeah, Yawgmoth is a big problem. Sacrificing that Yawgmoth. Alright. So I guess we're getting back this Snapcaster Mage to kill the Yawgmoth. All of this is really annoying. So I kind of want to go after his hand, but if we do, we take an additional 2, then we kill this. He might in response sacrifice the birds to kill our Snapcaster. No, I don't think that we can afford it. That is weird. Why wouldn't he be sacrificing the Yawgmoth? Don't know. Because he didn't, right? Okay. Yep. So exactly what was predicted. And Yawgmoth, like, it was only on the board for one turn, but man, did it provide him with value. Alright, so I'm gonna kill the birds still, because apparently he's, like, I can't afford him having another Yawgmoth, and he might have more, like, Eldritch Evolution or whatever in hand. Alright. Yeah, it's not really getting any better here. Alright. So there's definitely a matchup for our good friend Kalitas here. And probably also for Plague Engineers, although Spirits... Is there anything else? This is a human, right? Yeah, human. Cleric, Bird, Wolf, Zombie. It is not great. So, could kind of draw here and flip the Jace. I mean, Wall of Roots doesn't do anything. But Rampant, maybe. That looks like an Eldritch Evolution. Oh. Alright, we're gonna counter draw here. Problem is that, okay, that is weird. Why would you do that? Because we're still pretty far away from winning. I don't think that we would have lost it, but just from that spot, whoops. Alright, Kalita's in there. Want to have you as well. And probably want to have Surgical. Yeah. And I'm gonna get rid of the Thought Seizes. I'm gonna get rid of Nimbles. And I'm gonna get rid of the Brazen Walrus as well. Not a good matchup for our flyers here. Nope. Slightly better, not great though. I'm gonna pitch. We need double black. I think if we go, yeah. We're gonna go Islands, Scalding Tarn, and then the Warrior Grave. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Alright, our opponent has a Mana Dork again. Alright, this changes things a little, so I'm gonna go with a Warrior Grave here just to go turn 2. Well, any of this, I guess. So if possible, looks like a Geralt's Messenger, yep. And that is really, really, really bad for us. Alright. So killing the Geralt's Messenger here doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Still have... So either we kill the bird now, and then play the Plague Engineer on either Geist, or so Spirit, or Zombie doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because I want this to be, like, I'm not playing Skulling Tarn here because I want this to be a black-red source. So I think I'm just gonna kill the thing. And then see if he does have like a Strangleroot Geist or something coming up. Yep. Now once upon a time. Taking Wall of Fruits. Okay, so apparently our opponent is a little bit choked on mana here. So I feel like we're waiting for his turn. We have to be a little bit more cautious here. Can't afford to go with the real good stuff here. He's probably just gonna play the Wall Fruits out. Blood Artist would be actually good hit with our Plague Engineer. Still a little bit on the back foot just because all these things have Undying and it's really annoying. Alright, Eldritch Evolution on that Galbraith's Messenger actually is pretty fine with me. I don't know what he could grab here. Thragtusk. Sure, I mean Thragtusk certainly is annoying, but it's still a Thragtusk. So, I think I'm just gonna play the Plague Engineer here and trade for it. No, I don't want a Beast. I want to go with Spirit. Because we can get it back with the Kolaghan's Command the turn after that. Alright, might be a Yawgmoth coming in here. Packs a lot of value. Alright, there's Yawgmoth. On the upside, he's not really gaining any value out of it. And hopefully we draw a land here, which we did, so that we can go Shock, kill that one. I hope he can sacrifice itself. Yeah, another creature. Okay. So we're going down to 5 here. And then we have to get that beast under control. Might be taking another hit down to 2 until we get the Plague Engineer back. All fruits. Yeah, I don't see why we would be countering this. On the other hand though, we need to do something and kind of stop him here. What else could he be playing? Might be a Core of Calling, something like that in his hand. So I'm just gonna counter this. 1, 2, 3. And then we still have the drone as a backup and the Kolaghan's commands. Another wall fruits. Oh, that is actually a good one. Hello. Hopefully that was not intended to just activate a fatal push here. Because we need to at least get one hit in with the Kalitas just to get our life total bolstered a little bit again. And then after that, once we bought ourselves enough time, then we can go with a Plague Engineer again to get ourselves ahead. Alright, this looks like an Eldritch Evolution. I'm probably going for another Yawgmoth, right? Yep. Alright, this was a little lucky, gonna admit that. So return and kill the thing. Yep. Yep. Alright. Good games, opponents, and we're off to round number 2. Alright, welcome back everyone, and welcome to round number 2 after a, well, pretty interesting deck that our opponent was playing there. I read about it at some point, that's how I knew that he was actually playing Yawgmoth, but I don't think, well, I might have played against it like once or twice, but that was quite a while ago already. Weird hands, weird hands, weird hands. Easy keep. No, just kidding. Not an easy keep. It's actually not super great, but it depends on what our opponent does. But right now we can cast everything in our hands. The only problem is going to be a cryptic command down the road, but we still have a bit of time until we get there. Okay. Cryptic command. Great. So, if this turns out to be blue-white, I'm definitely going to go with a very aggressive Snapcaster Mage here. Because I actually actively want our opponent to path the Snapcaster. Punished. Punished, 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 punished. So if I'm gonna go with a Kolaghan's command here and it does not work out, then we're pretty fucked, right? I'm discarding another sword there, so I guess just as good as waiting for it to come down. Yep, and that's what I was gonna say. We're playing quite a few Kolaghan's commands in here, and therefore we can be pretty aggressive with it. And also just going after the stone forges instead of waiting for. Okay. Opponent apparently also does have a couple of problems with the mana base. So let's give him a decent target here with the blast zones. Alright. Spell Queller. I guess what we could also do here is bouncing it with the Brazen Bora before anything happens, and then tick the blast zone up to 3. D-Sphere. Yeah, that's actually fine for 2 reasons. On the one hand, of course, our blast zone can just kill the D-Sphere. On the other hand, Brazen Bora can also get rid of it quite easily. And therefore we kind of have a counterspell hidden there under that detention sphere. But we're drawing a little bit too many of our non-blue sources here. Charming Prince. Sure. Let's see. If I had one more mana, I could just pop on the detention sphere and then Kolaghan's command, so that we get a decent 2-for-1. But I think what I'm going to do here is just going after the Charming Prince and our opponent. And he's discarding more swords, which I'm fine with. Playing the Brazen Bora here, of course, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's actually something that I could have done. I could have also just Brazen Bora the detention sphere. And that's not a permanent solution, of course, but next turn then. Wall of Omens. Yeah, seems fine. Seems fine, seems fine. I'm hesitant of doing something here. My goodness. Please, please, please. Well, there's no black swords left in our deck, so guess that won't come up again. Islands. Alright then. Tar pits. There's no really good target for the Snapcaster Mage. I guess we could bounce it and just kill the Wall of Omens. Yeah, let's do that. Because if he Spell Queller is here, then we're just gonna pop the Blast Zone. And that's not gonna be good for him. And if he doesn't, yep, then we have enough counter magic to back things up. Could be playing like a Resto Angel. Okay. And that's it for basics. Somewhat unfortunate draws here with the basics. Yeah. I guess we're just gonna go in with the Brazen Boras now and try to protect them as long as possible. Our opponent's also not too far out of reach. Now that's not gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, and now we're looking pretty good here. If we knew our opponent's deck was a little better, then we probably could have played a little more efficient here, but I think it's fine. Yeah, I don't even want to counter this. I guess so. Because we can play the other Brazen Bora and then just, if we draw a bolt, it's just over. On thin ice. I guess we're countering that as well. Then it takes a turn more, but nothing that we can't deal with. Stoneforge Suntide Detention Sphere? What the actual fuck? Interesting addition there, Sun Titan. And he's got the mana to play it. But we do have a counterspell at the ready, of course. I'm gonna let this resolve and then bounce and play Brazen Bora end of turn. And then we have triple lethal. I really love that Stoneforge Mystic is a part of the meta now. Well, not really in the meta, but you know what I mean. At least in modern, I guess. There is not anything that I want to have from the sideboard here. I think mainboard is quite good as is. We're just gonna run it back and try it out. Nope. That's not a keep. Pooh. That's also not a great hand. I guess I'm chipping the Dark Dwellers just because it's the most expensive. We need lands. Desperately need lands here. Wall of Omens, sure. Come on, give me a land. Then we can counter the Flooded Strand activation there. And we're back in the game. Fuck. Alright, there we go. We do have a land, although it's sadly one turn too late. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna let this resolve. So I'm gonna shock here just because of all the ghost quarters and paths. This is probably being caught by a Spellcaller. Yep. Thought as much. Oh no, does he have another one? Yes, he does. And oh, Drowning Loch is not up yet. So if our opponent does have a very reactive hand here, whew. Yeah, let's try, I guess. Might be going horribly if he has a Force of Negation. Alternatively, of course, if he does have he's pathing it again. Okay. Yeah, we're dying to not having enough mana here. It really is a problem right now. Because I expect they're... Well, he could be playing a Titan as well, I guess. Yeah. It's getting really annoying here. Why can't I just get a land, man? Well, I guess we're blocking the Spellcaller nonetheless. Oh my god. Let's see if we survive the turn here. Oh, this is pretty fucked up. Okay, so could of course go with Fulminator Mages, but I don't really see it. I think it's still fine. Just need to have more lands. Okay, that's looking like more lands. Although it's of course also not a great hand because we just don't have anything to do, but as long as our opponent doesn't have a on thin ice to punish a Jace here. Oh, that's just fantastic. And wall. Alright, Nimble. It's your time to shine. So our opponent's playing really aggressive with this land count here. Like if he started off with 1 or 2 lands, just trying to keep him off of that Titan as long as we can. I think red is fine here. Yep. Are you kidding me? He's also playing Emiria? All the more reason to go after his lands. But for now, I'm just trying to get any spells whatsoever. Yeah, I'm gonna counter that. It's not great, but I still get a 2 for 1 here, basically. And I really need to do, like, stuff to do. Alright, Serum Visions is a start. Okay, I guess we're gonna go top, play Serum Visions. Go top again. Although we need counter magic as well. We probably also need some sort of removal. So, kill that one. Then Serum Visions. Definitely not a Blood Trip, please. And this one to the top. And then next turn we have removal, we have access to Serum Visions again. Flicker Wisp, Oceantize Command. There's nothing yet to hit with that one. A couple of Spell Quellers that we can deal with that Lightning Bolt. So I guess we're getting rid of that Flicker Wisp there. Okay. The walls, of course, are somewhat annoying, I'm not gonna lie, and he also does still have on thin ice. We could just start attacking with the Creeping Tar Pit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Because we still have the Snapcaster Mage plus Lightning Bolt backup, and I guess we can also just pump the Blast Zone onto 2 or 3 to get rid of all these omens. Or similar. Yeah. Go Scrimey River. Oh, we can also bounce Shore. Yep. Well then, if we get a 3-for-1 here, I'm actually gonna kill stuff, I think. Yeah, there's nothing else, right? There's the Ozarchize command that we definitely have to counter at some point. Yeah, so we're gonna go with the Blast Zone first here, and then next turn we're gonna go with another Snapcaster. Serum Visions here. That kind of jazz. Stoneforge. Sure. Fates to find equipment, that is also very interesting. And I'm not sure, but I might be inclined here to go on the very aggressive path. Although that doesn't seem great because so path on thin ice, detention sphere. Yeah, we're slugging ourselves through that. Just go with the Serum Visions here. If he doesn't want to path us, like he might be pathing us just to screw our scries up, and that's fine as well. There's K commands. I'm gonna put both to the bottom anyway, so. Alright, finally got a cryptic command here up the sleeve. And again, as he always does, yeah, he might just come in with a Spell Clutter, which we're just gonna counter draw. So I'm pretty sure that our opponent's gonna go Ozarchize command. Next possible action. And he has 2 on Thin Ice, 1 Path, like no spell queller, I believe. One of these, something like that. So something else that I'm gonna do is definitely K-commanding our Nimbleblack and then countering the Flooded Strand activation. Alright. I'm just gonna let this trigger resolve so that I don't have to have extra clicks here. And I'm gonna leave red open for a lightning bolt if it should come up. Yeah, he could do it now, I guess, but isn't inclined to do so. Another watery grave is probably where we want to be. I'm also not going to do anything because we have enough mana to chain snaps here. But I might want to do that now. We have the Drowning backup. And I think his only option here is to go with Nojitize command and counter, yeah. Counter draw what, no, probably counter and return something from the graveyard. Our opponent's definitely playing an interesting deck here. And I kind of like it. I don't like the Flicker Wisp and the 1, 2, 3. I don't actually need anything, right? Nope. So we're gonna counter that, and then we're coming in with a Snapcaster. K command. Return and discard. We could also go with a Nimble here straight up, I guess. Just because he's playing with so many triggers that's almost worth it. Oh, he's not going with an on thin ice here. I guess to keep a path up. So I want to get rid of all my Dreadbores here, rather sooner than later. Yep. Yep. Okay, another Emiria, so I'm pretty sure that the last 2 cards in his hand is a path and something else. So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna bounce the on thin ice here, I think. Could also just go with a lightning bolt though. I could have done both actually. I think that would have been better. Cryptic, bounce, draw, and then go snap, snap, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Boom. Should still be enough though. guess. Alright. GG's. Actually, two very interesting and very fringe decks here. Hope you enjoyed that one, and see you in round number 3. Alright. Alright, welcome back to round number 3 here. I just had a little bit of something to eat, and it was still in my throat when I started talking again. Yeah, I'm actually planning to do a different type of video, either next weekend or the weekend after, depending on when I do get the remaining cards that are missing, because I want to talk about like 2019 wasn't a crazy year for Magic and Modern and specifically, and Magic in general, and therefore I would like to recap on all of 2019 in a video, and also I wanted to cash in on the promise that I made before to once showcase my collection of Grixis cards, because I'm almost there. I'm almost completely foiled out, and it's just too beautiful to keep to myself. And therefore, yeah, I just wanted to include that as well. And then starting in the new year, I'm also going to restructure the Patreon system. All those who've been supporting me since I initiated it in August, I think, I'm gonna do something for, and then I'm also gonna put in a couple of incentives in 2020. But for now, let's get back to the game here. We have a decent hand, and our opponent's on a mulligan, but it's Tron, hopefully Eldrazi Tron. We're gonna start off with an Inquisition. Alright, so Eldrazi Tron. There's the Chalice that would have otherwise gotten us. So part of me wants to go after the Matter Reshaper here, but I need the Serum Visions to resolve. And if our opponent doesn't find additional land sources, then we might... So hopefully we get a turn here where our opponent does not find a third land, which wasn't the case. Now, I think, since we do have Dreadbore to get rid of the Karn, and we also do have... Could get rid of the Dismember. Then we block, kill that, potentially draw another land. No. We're just gonna take the 3 and counter what we can. Taking the Dismember, of course, has a benefit for the Jace. Opponent thinking about a potential Snapcaster Mage here, which is interesting. So drawing the lock probably not good enough yet at this point in the game. Still gonna go after these two here. I could of course also make him discard, but we need to get rid of the Mad Reshaper sooner or later anyway, and this way we at least... Eldrazi Temple is a strong card, of course. Okay. Close quarter. So I don't think going with a Snapcaster Inquisition here makes any sense. And therefore, I'm going to go with Snap Serum Visions. Still protecting the Jace. And trying to find another blue source here. Do we want more than one? Yeah, I guess can't be too bad. Reality Smasher. Alright. So I think what I'm going to do is... So we could just counter the Reality Smasher's ability here. Then we draw another island. Or we discard the Jace. I think I'm just gonna go with this. Because we still have another Dreadbore. And at some point he's gonna use that Dismember. Like right now. There we go. Very good. Great. Here comes Jace. And then... Oh, he has another one. Okay then. Yeah, my Reshaper is annoying enough for me to warrant countering that. Last card in hand, what could it be? Potentially, I guess, an All-Is Dust. Yeah. So we're slightly ahead here, but we have to be careful at any time when he finds another Reality Smasher, of course, we could just die. Also, here the Dreadbore, as good as it is against Karn, it is very bad against both Reality Smasher and... So I'm gonna attack first, see if it does anything. I thought not see I was gonna say, of course. Alright, there, that to the top. he's gonna use the Ghost Quarter, right? Because we put a card on top. But we won't be... Okay. Sure. So if he Ghost Quarters me, I'm not gonna go and search anything. Dark Dwellers coming in for the win. So I could make him discard, but due to the Seagate Wreckage, he will be able to find another spell anyway, and therefore I'm just gonna deal 2 damage to him and return a Nimble. And then he has to get rid of Dark Dwellers and the Nimble at the same time, and he can't block them both, or very unlikely so. And I think I'm gonna counter that, because he could be going with a Walking Ballista here, and if he had all this mana, like, that would be 10 mana up, that could still be a problem. Yeah. Bet that was a Walking Ballista. Alright. So Ceremonious Rejection pretty good here. Fulminated Mage also pretty good, and the Qualitas is also decent. So I definitely don't want to have the Brazen Borers. They're good against the Chalices, but other than that, not really. I think I'm also not going to go with a Fulminated Mage, since we're on the play, on the draw. The Plague Engineer is probably better. Excuse me. So I want to cut one here, potentially one here, and then the last one is gonna be, yeah, I guess another Serrations here, right? Alright, got a Rejection, got a Snapcaster Mage. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a Cavern too early here. Expedition map sucks. Let's see if he goes with the Cavern or if he goes with an Eldrazi Temple. So I want to incentivize him here to go with a Temple, since we apparently don't have a counterspell here. And playing the Waste here is also pretty awkward. Yep, there goes the Temple. And then next turn we have a Snap. Hopefully. Yeah, good enough, good enough, good enough. I'm just gonna take it here as long as we can, because he could at any point just be drawing a Cavern, and then all of our counter magic is just off. So trying to be on the, or get to the front foot here as fast as possible. This one tapped, and then we go with a nimble here. He's probably got some sort of removal, but I'm fine with that. Just need to find some sort of Kolaghan's command. There's the cavern. I fucking knew it. Reality Smasher. Let's see. Tap all creatures the opponent controls. Yeah, I'm gonna play this tapped, I think, and then we're gonna go with the Plague Engineer, Eldrazi, so that even if he goes and plays a Thought-Knot Seer, we can still kill it when it comes down. Another one. Ooh. I'm actually not sure. If we take 8, we're down to 8. But we do have, like, we put him down to 7 if I bold him. And then after that one, we have Plague Engineer plus potentially 2, 1, 2. Yeah, if we draw another land, yeah, I'm gonna just let it happen. Eldrazi. Alright, so now these two Reality Smashers aren't even lethal anymore, and more importantly, Matter Reshaper is just nothing on the battlefield. That looks like a third Reality Smasher. Could it be? Could it be? Yeah, I'm gonna, if he wants to attack, so be it. For 6 year. Because if he does have a Endbringer, I'm not even sure. Like, what could he have here? He must have a Dismember, right? But if he plays a Dismember, then things are not going his way anyway, so I'm just gonna bounce this and draw a card. And then we have both here, right? Yeah. Alright, GG's. Easy, easy, easy. See you around number 4. We are already headed into round number 4 here on this beautiful Friday evening, heading into the weekend. And as I already said, Modern Challenge and Modern PTQ finals are coming up, and I hope to catch at least one of them. Also, for those of you in Europe, I think the next coming up modern event is going to be GP or Magic Fest Turin in Italy, beginning of April, And before that, there's only GP Brussels for Pioneer. I'll definitely attend GP Turin. I'm not sure yet about GP Brussels, as I'm not sure that Pioneer is something for me. But GP Brussels also does have, or does feature, 3 modern PTQs, so maybe that's something that I'm going to consider doing. I'm not sure though yet. It's not too far from my place though. I can get there like with a train in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So maybe it's worth the trip. So we're on the play here. And it's a weird hand again. We have a little bit of removal. We have interaction Brazen Borer, and a third land is probably good enough. On the draw is probably a better hand than on the play. Well, we shall see. Hopefully we'll get there. And then at least we don't have value problems. Goblin Dark Dweller is also a card that, of course, isn't as powerful in Standard and in Pioneer due to the weaker spells that you can cast off of it, but and also because they changed. I don't know. No, it should still function. Yeah, it still does function with Ancestral Vision. It just doesn't function anymore with Icefall, due to the fact that that, of course, is now 4 mana in the graveyard as well, so that you can't cast it anymore. Whereas I think before you were able to. Oops. Once upon a time. So something big mana heavy here again. Could also be something with Eldrazi. Spells Guide, Infect. Oh, and Infect is actually... Infect has gotten so much better recently again. Alright, we also do have another land here, so I'm happy about that. And the next turn with the Spells Guide up, we can actually go Kolaghan's Command. We have to be a little bit careful, because I think the Yawgmoth Nexus could be annoying. Do I want to have double red? Yes, I do. Okay, destroy and this one. And then after that we have Brazen Borer to block the Yawgmoth Nexus, because that's safer than running into something. Yeah, but Infect is a real deck again. Partially to Juju Once Upon a Time, partially due to Oko, and on the third part, and there's certainly Veil of Summer. All of those cards are pretty good against mid-range and control, which before have been anemic matchups, and now it's actually gotten pretty decent. And of course, you're still punishing all the Urzas, all the Trons, all the Eldrazi's of this world. Alright, so once, well, let's see if our opponent does have a third land here. And he does. So that we probably get at least 5 Infect in here. Could also be 7. Oh, a Noble Hierarch. Then it's just going to be 2, I guess. So next turn we can go with the Goblin Dark Dwellers here. And I'm not sure if I want to go Brazen Borer block or try to kill the Yawgmoth Nexus end of turn with the Snapcaster Mage. That might also be an option. We just go with the Brazen Borer here. Have it be killed. And then next turn we go Kolaghan, Snapcaster Kolaghan's command. Another Yawgmoth. That's not good. Alright, let's see if he does have a Distortion Strike or something of that sort. Okay. I'm good with this trade, actually. Ooh. Ooh. Could mean a lot of things, of course. It's possible that our opponent just doesn't have any pump spells anymore. Yeah. We're trying to kill the Yawgmoth Nexus end of turn. A lot of threats here. Man, that's a lot of threats. And that is really what Once Upon a Time especially has done for the deck. That it is so threat dense now. But 3 Yawgmoth Nexi is already pretty obnoxious here. Alright, Cryptic Command does help us. How do we die here? I guess the way that we die is by... Let's go Dark Dwellers. Groundswell would then be lethal, right? So I would like to get the Brazen Borer back, like somehow. But if we don't go after the Noble Hierarch here, how do we die? How do we die next turn? If we kill a Noble Hierarch, then a Groundswell isn't good enough. Yeah, let's try it. Because I think what he needs here is the one that gives you a 6/4. I mean, we could of course go after the Noble Hierarch and also just make him discard, but there the problem is that the Yawgmoth, if we can't kill him within 2 turns, then the Yawgmoth Nexus will just get us. Alright, there's a Mother Volcrosa. And now I think we actually die to a couple of things. Alright, not to a Noble Hierarch though. So we're going up to 7, and then we have 1 turn we can block it, and 1 turn where we can just tap draw. And we also have a keep it top hit here. So we're coming in for 6. And then if he shocks or does anything that costs him a life, we already have lethal. Wow, but this is quite rough for any deck to churn through. Like so many Yawgmoth Nexi, so many threats. And just 10 outs. Alright, so I'm gonna tap draw. Could always have a dismember or something. I think that's more likely than being soft to a... Oh. Okay. Let's see. So if we go in with the Dark Dwellers, we need this one up. I want to have a Logic Node up as well, and we probably want to... And then he could double block here. Nope, I think we have to attack with the Torpid as well. If he has a Distortion Strike, then that's just it. Because next turn he can double block with the Noble Hierarchs, the Goblin Dark Dwellers, and then we wouldn't have lethal. So I think I need to do this. And now try to block both threats. And I think the only card that we lose to here is a Distortion Strike. Yeah. Alright, so that was already pretty rough. Game 1 here. So I want to have the Flyers. Goblin Dark Dwellers was also pretty good, but probably a little bit too expensive here. Blast Zone is going to be pretty good, I think. Plague Engineer, Goblin Dark Dwellers goes out. Although it's definitely not a bad card. But Oko, well, he's definitely going to bring in Oko, I guess. So what do we do against it, or about it? I guess I'm going to cut one Jace here on the draw. Yeah, let's see when Wizards decides to actually print some good blue cards again. And by good blue cards, I don't mean the fairy or any other planeswalker that just goes into like dual colored decks. Creatures, spells, anything really. Up until now, I have to say I'm very happy with the Goblin Dark Dwellers. Also, a lot more happy than with other options that I tried. It's difficult to jump block. It provides instant value when it comes down, and it's a robust body. Nope, it's not bad. So the Blighted Agent is actually human, so Plague Engineer is either going to be naming human or Blinkmoth. Yeah, we have a Blast Zone, so I'm going to keep it. We should be able to slow him down with the Inquisition, and if he starts off with the Mulligan and or a Noble Hierarch here, and not with the Glissna Elf, then we should be able to like Brazen Borer first, and then Kolaghan's Command, and then Blast Zone. Inkmoth. Alright, let's have a look first what our opponent has. I'm gonna use it right now because, okay, 2 Blighted Agents. Yeah, I'm gonna take a Blighted Agent because they're just obnoxious. And he already hit in the sweet spot there. So, let's see. I'm gonna fetch shock for Steamans here. I'm gonna go after the Blighted Agent. He's gonna Vines. Yep. And now I'm not sure. We could go with the Kolaghan's command after the Blighted Agent and make him discard. And then we have Brazen Borer to block the Yawgmoth. That's probably the best. Because we shouldn't be dying next turn, and then from there we can just build up our utility lands. He also needs to have something to pump that Yawgmoth. Yep. Yep. Alright, let's try to block here. Let's see. Like, he definitely has something, I guess, but if it's just a blossoming defense or something, then it's not enough. He needs, yeah. Alright. Alright, GG's opponent, and off to round number 5. Alright, welcome back here to round number 5, everyone. We're still unbeaten and rolling. Let's see what the last round brings us. Come on, Modo. Give us an opponent. Any opponent. Yeah, so we've actually been playing against a variety of decks. Granted, most of them were creature based, although Infect is more of a creature combo deck, but up until now I'm pretty happy with all the changes that are made, especially I mean, we knew about Nimble Obstructionist being good, etc., but especially Goblin Dark Dwellers being in here. Also a pretty good addition, I think. And Ceremonious Rejection also being pretty big there against Eldrazi Tron. Oh my goodness, we're on the play again. Insane, and we have a decent hand. I betcha we're playing against Burn now. Alright, let's see, wait. So I think I'm going to put one Thoughtseize to the top, one Thoughtseize to the bottom, because depending on what our opponent does play. Green Tron as the 5th matchup. So let's see. I guess it's alright for us to go with the Logic Knot here, counter a potential Sylvan Scrying, and then go with a Thoughtseize follow-up. At that point you should already at least have 3 cards in the bin, so that actually I'm gonna go with a drone here. I think that's just a superior play at that point. There's the expedition map. The expedition map. Corner Liberated, and of course Natural Tron. Obviously. So we're going after the Karn, I guess. And we could keep up the Logic Knot, but he has to hit something off the top, which of course could happen, and I won't complain. But I want to have access to Cryptic ASAP. And we also need a threat. So maybe Brazen Borer is actually not bad here. I'm gonna put it to the bottom just because finding a Nimble here would even be better. Alright. Or a K command, I guess. So Tower's gone, Oblivion Stone's on the battlefield. He's gonna fetch something. And then there's still Sanctum of Ugin, which of course was the reason why I wanted to have access to Cryptic Command as fast as possible. That's weird. You would always expect your for our opponent to play the Sanctum of Ugin, I guess. So I'm gonna play this tapped and just counter with a Logic Knot, since he does have so much mana right now. So this is 3, and then we're gonna go with 1 Serum Visions to have 4. And there's a K command. K command isn't bad per se. And there's the Sanctum, which I think our opponent fucked up last time around. Probably just a mistake there. Yep. And then there's still Ghost Quarter as well. Yep. So that's the question here. Do I want to go? Yeah, I think so. because that makes any additional Kolaghan's command really good. And also the Ghost Quarter could at some point be relevant if we need to. Oh no, that looks like it's an Ulamog. Yeah, that is a problem for a variety of reasons. So usually I would try to return something here from on our side, but I don't think. Okay, so our opponent is somewhat out of gas, but we need to find some sort of threat here. Otherwise we won't be winning this. Also, the Tron lists right now are all running Emrakul main, which is really weird. But yeah, so Logic Knot's not gonna be good for all too long. But I'm gonna keep it up as long as I can. So if we draw another land, then I'm gonna start attacking, but we only have 7 mana in our graveyard, so to speak. This is not good, and this is not good. So Sanctum of Ugin resolves. And there's Emrakul. Yes. So Emrakul, okay. So he probably can't use both Dreadbores next turn unless he draws a red source. And therefore, I'm gonna just go... Oh, well, actually, no. Yeah. Just gonna lightning bolt him. So that he cannot kill the Creeping Torpid. And then I'm gonna counter the Emrakul. And then we just hope that the next draw is not a land, a red land. Okay. So I guess he's going to kill the Creeping Torpid, but then he will still have his Ui and be killed. Okay, interesting. There were like 15 ways to do that, but alright. Yeah, so everything acts as expected. Okay, commands. At least an interesting pickup here. We don't have a creature in our graveyard though. Yeah, I don't think waiting for something here to happen is gonna be good enough. So we're just gonna attack and try to somehow sneak a victory here. Although it's gonna be very, very, very difficult. Oh, we're still alive after all this. So that's good at least. So that one to the bottom. Whew, the lightning bolt. Do I want to have the lightning bolt? I guess so, because we have 3 on board. This could be like 8 damage plus the snap. It's 11, and then yeah. So if we get more than 1 hit with the Snapcaster Mage in, then we could have a case here. Looks to be a Wurmcoil engine, right? Yeah. Sadly, we cannot go with the Cryptic, so we just go with the Drone and Loch. And then we actively hope that our opponent's gonna go and Oblivion Stone. Counter draw. Not counter draw, just counter. And if he doesn't play anything here, I'm suspecting that our opponent indeed does have some sort of green spells in hand that he currently just cannot utilize. Either Ancient Searings or whatever. Okay, so Oblivion Stone, getting rid of the Snapcaster Mage. Then we go end of turn, Lightning Bolt him. Return the Snap next turn. Is that another Ugin? Oh no. Walking Ballista? Walking Ballista for 5. That's pretty darn a lot. So we're gonna take 6 of that Walking Ballista actually. So I'm gonna Lightning Bolt that thing. Three, okay. Return and destroy. Then we go end of turn, bolt him, and then we have lethal on the battlefield. So the only way that he wins here is by either having a Wurmcoil engine off the top or another Walking Ballista, I think. Well, of course, if he's playing another Ulamog, that's also good enough, but yeah, we're down to 3. We get our Snapcaster Mage back, and now it's off to the races. Let's hope that our opponent doesn't find a green source here, and or anything else to do. Come on. Let's see. I don't know, Rick, but I think that's lethal. Cool. So 1-game-1 in a very, very, very tight match. 4-game-2. Goblin Dark Dwellers are going out. I need the Fulminator Mages. I need the Ceremonious Rejections. And then now we have to decide on whether or not we want to race here. I think I'm going to cut a Blast Zone, because that's just not doing anything here, and I want to be as threat dense as possible. I'm also going to get rid of the Jaces on the draw, and then I probably like 1 Serum Visions. Let's hit it. Come on! Hopefully a sweet land off the top before bad things start happening. I'm gonna go with a Water Grave here nonetheless, because we need the blue, and I'm not convinced that... Okay, so he isn't there yet. Korn the Great Creator is of course a magic card, but we're gonna go after the Ancient Stirrings. We apparently have a little bit of time here. I hope. Come on. Give me a land, people. Give me a land. Any land. The Walking Ballista is an annoyance, but not a whole lot more. This is a little bit more than annoying though. Come on! Fuck. Yeah, now we have a problem. Now we definitely have a problem. Ah. The unlucky train. And I feel like Moto is like cutting lands here in the sideboard is really not Moto's thing. Please dig up. Yeah, now he's getting liquid metal coating, and then it's basically over. Because now we need to draw... I mean, the liquid metal coating we can counter. And if we draw a red source, we could also go after the Karn. Atonement Script. Yeah, then I'm not even gonna counter, man. And then I'm not even gonna counter. But I'm gonna go after the Walking Ballista. Not counter. And because I don't want to bounce the Karn to not give him another activation there. And then it counts if we get like a red source here. Then we have a chance, otherwise we don't. But we also came back last game quite well, so. Okay, we have a red source. That is something at least. So it's one card that we don't know about. And of course that could be something really, really huge. But it might also just be a Walking Ballista, a Wurmcoil Engine, for instance. And if that were to be the case, then we can just bounce it and play the Fulminator Mage next turn. Come on, don't have anything crazy. Just a Thragtusk. Can we handle a Thragtusk? Yeah, I think we can handle a Thragtusk. course it's strong, but it's not too strong. So, obviously we're way behind here, but we're gonna go with our beautiful Fulminator Mage here, and we're gonna go after whatever he just fetched. What did he fetch? Power plant, right? Yeah, we're going after the power plant. Usually I would like to wait here, but I'm not gonna do that. And next turn, we're gonna kill the Thragtusk with the Dreadbore and then bounce the token with our Brazen Bora, and then hopefully get a couple of turns to reassemble ourselves. Nope. Then I hope we're drawing a land now. Not a land. My goodness. Yeah, alright. Opponent drew very well there. This time we are on the play. Gonna bring in a chase again. Come on. Decent hand, yes. Alright, so I just hope that we make it to turn 3 here. Turn 4, so that we have a Cryptic Command up. I'm just gonna shock here. Not really bluffing anything, but it could always be relevant. So our opponent does have one unknown card in hand. If that's a Veil of Summer, then we get blown out. If it's not a Veil of Summer, then we can put him back significantly here. Come on, no Veil of Summer. No Veil of Summer. Okay. Expedition map. So now, oh, come on. Oh, come on. That is ridiculous. Those were his 2 draws here right now. That's actually pretty good. I'm gonna shock again because we could always be drawing into a Yawgmoth. Just in case. Or alright. Kolaghan's command is very good here. Because even if he does have a Well of Summer, we get back our Nimble. Which means that we have a little bit more play against his Surge spells. But most importantly, we do have Ceremonious Rejection is also pretty good here. No Karn. Alright. Nimble, it's your time, baby. Oh, Jace. But I'm not going to play the Jace yet. Our position's not bad. And we have a lot of stuff to do. Hello. We still recording? Yes, we are. Alright. Here comes Jace. That is weird. But fine with me. Another Nimble. Oh man, we're getting spoiled here. Alright, Dreadbore is gonna go. Kolaghan's command is not yet something or anything that I need. So we're just gonna hack our way through this here. Come on, people. Come on. No! Fuck you. If his last card is Veil, then we still have Drone. And now... I don't know. I think I want to go with Nimble here. Let's attack first, and then we're gonna go Kolaghan's command him, and then draw step Kolaghan's command him again. Corn. Alright. What do you got, opponent? 5-0, people. We didn't have an easy league here, but it was a whole lot of fun. Really enjoyed the new version, the new iteration here. I think we're really close to an optimal list right now. Hope you enjoyed it. Sideboard might still need a little bit of work, but it's also pretty close. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It felt great. Also winning against so many big mana creature decks like Eldrazi, and yeah, we had everything here. Alright, have a great weekend, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon.